this is Rachel Davis, Director of Music at the Church at Highland Park, and welcome back to Hymn of the Week, Backyard Edition. Each week we're going to come together and look at one of those fantastic oldie but goodie hymns, especially the ones we know and love, and talk about the text, the music, the history, and the meaning behind those hymns. So I'm glad that you're here joining us this Hymn of the Week Wednesday, and let's get started. This week, I've chosen one of the oldest hymns we know, and probably one of the hymns we know the least about, Be Thou My Vision. Let's check it out. Hailing from the 8th century, Be Thou My Vision is probably the oldest hymn that appears in our hymnal. We take this hymn that's traditionally an Irish folk song, and we've found text for it from none other than, that's right, the Irish St. Patrick. Now, St. Patrick was just Patrick back in those days, and Patrick actually hailed from Scotland, but in his young adult life, he was taken prisoner by pirates from Ireland, and when they took him prisoner, he found reasons to evangelize, even while he was in captivity in Ireland. Now, fast forward a few years, Patrick escapes from captivity and returns home to Scotland. His family, all of his sisters and brothers, are rejoicing that he's finally made it back to Scotland. But one night, it says, he has the dream that he sees an Irishman pleading with him to come back to Ireland and to make God's word spread, to build churches, to find community for this place that has not seen God until Patrick came. So, apparently it was a very easy decision, although his family was very much against it. Patrick left his home in Scotland, returned to captivity in Ireland, and continued to build some 200 churches and baptized over 100,000 people in his time there. So even though this might be different than the St. Patrick you know, St. Patrick has given us the text of this hymn that is probably the oldest in your hymnal, all because he was willing to risk his life to go back into captivity because God called him to make his word and to make his love known in a place of darkness. And that, my friends, is Be Thou My Vision, a traditional Irish folk song that St. Patrick himself wrote the text for the hymn that we now know and love. Thank you so much for joining us every week for Hymn of the Week Wednesday. I hope that the stories are keeping you entertained and maybe making you think about some things you never thought about your hymns before. Thanks for checking in to this week's Hymn of the Week Backyard Edition, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Have a great week, Highland Park.